Oh, it is Metro. Do tomorrow.
Come on.
It's last Sunday.
It don't matter.
Hey, you want to do a speech? Let me do a speech.
I'm so sorry. Soney. I didn't know you was just great on Sundays.
Oh,
Stop.
I didn't know you was just great on Sundays.
No, Saturdays, pre-Sunday.
Okay, all right, fine, for the family.
Go ahead. Who is it?
It is me. It is I. I am the greatest there is, the greatest there was, and the greatest there ever will be. I am greatness personified. Myself. Yes. Soney greatness. Yes.
Oh, yes.
And I am here
I love how you did that.
with the man of the hour, the myth, the legend, the activist, the author, the conqueror, the educator, the empowerer, the
40-year-old virgin.
minus the virgin. For social perspective, bend the knee, because they come from all across the world to see the man who wears the crown that hangs 2 inches from the ground. He is your king. He's my king. He is King Kevyn.
They don't like me tonight. They like you more.
All right, thank you.
They're a little sleepy tonight.
Oh, okay, that's about right.
Okay.
Right. Good stuff, everybody.
Well, we here.
Sit down, shut up. All right.
What's up, everybody? Thank y'all so much for joining us for another episode of the GreatMines Show. I am your boy King Kevyn with Soney Greatness, and we are. I feel like I'm talking like we were on the radio, with the whole animated voice and the highs and the lows. I miss those days.
Yeah, we
I
do.
miss those
We do.
days.
We do. We definitely do. Those were fun days.
Yes,
But,
and-
glad to be here with you guys on YouTube and Instagram.
right, because it gives us a
yeah.
whole new platform and Facebook. So we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Before we get into our conversation, go ahead, comment, like and subscribe. Join us in the comment
Yes,
section. Join
share,
the discussion.
all that.
Yeah. So, So we're talking about RuPaul's Drag Race. But no, before we even do that, so the intro today, we had a pre-recorded version, but it was actually live. And I thought that would be a great way because he was kind of like strong-armed into giving that speech, or not even speech, doing his introduction, which they live. I told you that's the thing. I told you people that is a staple. People love to hear greatness personified.
Yeah.
Oh yes. So
Yeah.
no, that was at my 40th birthday celebration, and had a very, very great time. Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Up there, can you grab it so I can open it and read it?
Oh, sure.
So
Why not?
for my 40th birthday, I wanted to spend it with people who were the closest to me, and we had a wonderful dinner. And this here is a present I received from the House of Greatness, along with the card, and there was also some art stuff that I requested on my wish list, and they got it for me. So I've been painting with them already. So House of Greatness has provided not just to me but to the community, because I'll be using supplies that they gave me to create some art. So it's been really fun. But this one here we have to open and read, because there's something to be read. Our friend Kevyn. I know there's another card, but this is attached. Kev, here's to your birthday. Birthdays come once a year. Aren't you glad we're not our birthday? Wishing you all the best on your special day. You are amazing, and hope you enjoy this from us. May all your ups and downs. I didn't understand what that was. Sorry.
Oh, be between the sheets.
Oh. May they love you much, House of Greatness, XOXO from BJ and PJ. Thank you. There's more. Get it open. This nice wine glass, what you guys see, which reads, I love to wrap both hands around it and swallow. Get your minds out the gutter. Thank you. I know what you meant.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yep.
That was a very beautiful birthday wish with all the ups and downs. And with that, we're going to get into our review. Now, last week, because I celebrated my birthday, next day was a little bit recovery.
Shout outs on Instagram.
What's up? I wouldn't say I'm embracing the gray as much as I just ain't shaved my head yet. But thank you. But because we didn't come together last week, we're going to be doing something we did during the premiere of Drag Race All Stars 9, where we did 2 episodes in one.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 2 episodes to cover and about 54 minutes left.
Yeah.
So we got time. We got
time, but we do got a lot of ground to cover.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and dive in. So we're going to start by reviewing the previous episode to this past week. So, and that was the makeover challenge episode where the queens had to make over firefighters, and one of them was gay.
I think before I think we should also note that this was a team challenge.
Yes, this was a team challenge. So 2 queens were paired, and both of those queens had to make over a firefighter who, and then put on a girl group, performance and do some lyrics and stuff like that to a song. I forgot what song it was.
Pussy on Fire.
Yes, that one. So it was a good episode, solid episode, lots of drama, of course. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. So the firefighters from all across the country, and there was a gay one. Of course, the gay one was from Atlanta, yes. So yeah, from Atlanta. So that gives you all the information that you need about them. Definitely, yeah. So,
so the pairings, they were told to pair up, like choose their partner. So it wasn't production who said you guys get together.
Right.
So it ended up being Chanel and Angeria, Nina and Plastic Tiara. Got Mick was with Vanjie.
Nina West.
Nina West, and Georges was with.
Georges was with Plastique. Yes.
Wait.
So Georges and Plastique.
Right. Well, Roxy and who then?
Roxy and Vanjie.
And Vanjie.
Yes. Roxy and Vanjie.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We got it.
Then yeah. So you guys got all the pairings.
So, they actually did some speed dating. So each of the firefighters went around to each of the teams, and got a chance to get to know them. It was a lot of cute banter. But each firefighter selected one of the teams, and I don't remember all of the firefighters' names.
I don't
except
either.
For Britta. No, I'm playing. Tell me that one didn't look like Britta. That the one Hispanic one.
Yes, it kind of did look like Britta. Yeah.
But anyway, so they had to. Didn't they have to write a verse?
Except the smaller teeth.
But no, they had to write a verse. They had to do a look-alike and choreography.
Choreographed it. So make over, all that. It was definitely an all-star level challenge.
It was, because it was like a 3-in-1.
Yeah.
And it was actually, I think that it was extremely good. I'm not going to lie. Oh, let's get into it. Like the different teams, which teams you liked and why? Because there's a statement I want to make about a particular team.
So the firefighters ended up choosing, and so the first firefighter got his first pick, and he chose the tall one. He chose Chanel and Angeria, and then you had the older guy, the older guy chose.
What before we even continue? So the older firefighter also happens to have a child who is non-binary or trans. I think it was, but was in a relationship.
The son-in-law is trans. Yeah, is in relationship with his daughter.
So for him, it was really standing in solidarity with not just the drag community, but the LGBTQIA plus community. So it was touching that he was there for multiple reasons.
Right. And he went with Vanjie and Roxy.
Yes.
And then the buff guy, the buff guy was last, but then you had the gay firefighter. The gay firefighter chose
the black one from Atlanta.
Yeah, he chose Plastique and Georges.
Yes.
And then the buff one was last, and he got with Gottmik and Nina West. So that is how the pairings happened. Yeah, then they had to go and figure out what they were wearing, and then do the choreographed number, which was fun to watch because you had a lot of guys who were just guys and bricks up there trying to move and dance, and they had heels on and stuff, so it was fun. Although the one from Atlanta, took to it, and the surprising one was the buff guy. The buff guy, he
leaned into it. I think there was a moment in the episode where Gottmik, where they, in between, like, here's your challenge, here's the person you're making over, and here's the performance. It's like they're on the main stage doing their choreography or working on their runway walk. And during Gottmik and Nina's time with him, Gottmik was like, no, let's just lean into the masculinity.
Right.
And I think that really did pay off. It was a different experience.
Yep.
But it worked.
Hold on a minute.
But I think the one that really took the cake for me was Plastique and Georges' firefighter, because he shaved his eyebrows off for it. He was down for the cause. He's like, we don't what drag? All right, I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm from Atlanta, baby. I know, even though that was New Orleans accent. But anyway, I'm from Atlanta. I'm from the ATL, and we does this, and he was ready. Shockingly, this man could move. Like, he's a buff guy, but he can move. And like, when they put him in drag, I would not be surprised if RuPaul decides to bring him back next season. A fan favorite. He was that good.
Yeah, no, he definitely looked amazing. Like Plastique and Georges definitely did the damn thing with what would they call her? What did they call her? Angelique, yes. Angelique, yeah. I can't remember the other guys.
I just remember the tall one's name was Natasha.
Okay.
All right, so that was Chanel and Angeria and Natasha. Now,
yes,
here's the thing of we look alike. There's another thing of we have a theme, a cohesive look. And then there is, what is that? And I think it's challenging enough because, like, last season with Saphira, they had the same color on, but they were looking like they were from two different spectrums. So there was no cohesiveness. It was just we're matching. And that's supposed to be a family resemblance. With this one, it's supposed to be a girl group. I think that they should look cohesive.
There should be a string.
Something cohesive.
Something that binds them.
Yes. And I feel that they had this pinkish Metallica type color thing going on, but I don't think that it was strong enough to make say
because Angie and Angeria and Chanel had on like this coral color, and it was while the firefighter had on like this pearl.
And it was like a silver iridescent type of thing where it called a shimmer to different
it was very
spectrums
much pearl,
or whatever.
Like pearl.
But it was also very futuristic.
Yeah.
I mean, for him,
very stiff looking, but
very stiff.
But he's tall, so tall people tend to look stiff, in general.
I can show you some things. But I feel like with him, it was just I think you got to give him some credit because this is his first time in drag. He's wearing heels. And, was that the thing? They all wore the same shoes. They all had the same shoes, which was cute that they all had shoes to fit each other because this man had to wear like a 15 because he was tall as hell. Yeah. So that part was cute for them.
He made he was making balloon animals and untucked for the queens.
I didn't watch that.
But
That's cute.
Yeah. So he had the best line though. He did have the best line of the song.
Okay,
you know, with the hissing while I'm pissing, hissing while I'm pissing. That was so great and iconic. Like that is going to go down in drag her story, hissing while I'm pissing. You know, yeah. But that was the whole group. I forgot what they were called. The hoes.
Yeah, I really forgot about all of their titles.
Yeah, I forgot. They each had, you know, names and stuff like that. So this is what happens when we have to do 2 shows in a week because we party too hard. But yeah,
I want to talk about Roxy and Vanjie's look. If you're ever in a group challenge and design is a part of it, yeah, you kind of want to make sure you're on Roxy's team. Roxy pretty much put together their looks. When I say cohesive, it was damn near the same dress.
Yeah.
With small fringe details.
Yeah.
Differently.
Yeah.
Different. Yeah, that. And their looks, their choreography, like they were cohesive, they were together, they were polished, they were good. Right. Now I feel like their firefighter was a little stiff or old-ish, and this is the firefighter who has the pan child and the trans son. So in the beginning he was stiff. He loosened up by the end of the performance, and then there was Mick and Nina. I would love to know what you thought about their look.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was solid. You know, they all looked like they were from the same girl group. The thing that set them apart differently was their hair. You know, because each of them kind of had different hair.
Yeah, different types of hair.
So for me, that was a big dresses. Thing. You know,
but here's
they
the
were
thing.
all pretty much the same kind of dress.
I could imagine that Nina did the dresses, Mick did the makeup, and I don't know who did the hair. If I could be honest, that was my least favorite performance. Theirs.
Yeah, I would have to say they were definitely one of the weaker groups, or the weaker offerings this week, in my opinion, as well. I definitely thought that and they were solid. Moving on, right. I definitely thought that the uncrowned winner of this episode was Georges and Plastique Tiara with their firefighter Angelique. They had on they came through the runway with a Powerpuff Girl inspired look, where Georges had blossoms, reddish, pinkish color, and
just so you know,
and everything. Hey Taka, thanks for joining. We appreciate you. Thanks. Oh my goodness, we feel so it's like a star is watching. All right, so
all right, so now since we're doing that, because Samson McCormick also just tuned in. What's up, Samson?
Hey, thanks. Oh my goodness, we got the stars watching us. Wow.
Lyrically, sorry.
Yeah.
So so all of our people, all other content creators who are doing comedy and music are part of the ballroom community and making waves, and music artists that tune into our shows. All of you guys, we really appreciate your influence.
Thank you.
And your
please like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. We would love it. And follow. We really appreciate it. Love it for it because we follow you. And
right.
We love y'all. So they had a Powerpuff inspired look. And it was definitely Georges had blossoms color, like the pinkish, kind of color, fuchsia color, and then you had Bubbles,
Plastique.
Which was Plastique. She had on the pale blue, and then you had Angelique, who was Buttercup and had the green color on and stuff.
And I swear, I said it already, and I'm gonna say it for the third time because I said it to Roscoe once. I would not be surprised if next season, well, maybe not next season, but the season after, if we don't see Angelique pop back up. Like, she gave me a performance that made me say, I want to see more.
Yeah, Angelique turned it out, coming out there looking like Megan Thee Stallion. Like,
I don't think there's ever been a makeover challenge where any of the performers stole the show the way Angelique did.
Yeah, Angelique definitely stole the show. I thought their whole group stole the show. They each
literally
had
I think that was
little fur accent going on.
It was
like,
so,
you know, yeah.
Like you could look at it and see what this was.
Yeah.
And given the girl group theme, even if it wasn't a Powerpuff Girl like influenced look, their look still was just like so pieced together, and it was individual, but it was communal at the same time. It was like they had their own individual looks with their names printed on their shirts at the same. Listen,
Right.
This was my favorite. This was
Yes.
the absolute favorite of mine out of this episode's
This was
main challenge.
This was also my favorite episode, or my favorite group. I thought that they were the uncrowned winners, so spoiler alert, they did not win. The group that we already discussed, which was Vanjie and Roxy, won the whole shindig. But moving on, we had another group. We did
Angeria and Chanel.
Angeria
and Chanel, Nina West, and Got Mick. We did Roxy and Vanjie, and we did Plastique and Georgia.
Yeah, so those were the winners. Was Roxy Andrews and Vanjie. They lip synced. The lip sync was a tie.
All right. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like it should have been a tie?
I do.
I'm gonna give you that.
I do.
This is going to set up perfectly for our next episode too.
So then after there was a tie, they split the $10,000 for their charity.
So Vanjie wants some money for the ASPCA, and Roxy wants some for the Trevor Project. La 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 la. No, that's Chanel. I'm sorry.
No, that's Nina West for the Trevor Project.
Oh.
She got the.
I'm all over the place.
The Florida.
Oh yes.
The Florida charity.
We'll go over that again.
Yeah.
At some point.
Some point in time. Let us know in the comments if you know what Roxy Andrews' charity is. So then after the tie, they split the $10,000 amongst their charities, and then they both have to choose who gets the Ruby Snippers. So Georges just got it from Got Mick the previous week, and so now it is a decision between Roxy and Vanjie as to who gets snipped. So they ended up.
Before you reveal who they snipped, who would you have snipped?
In their position, playing the game, I would have snipped Got Mick, just to be sure.
Yep.
But I understand the reasonings why they both could not snip certain people, because earlier in the episode, in the previous week, where Got Mick and Nina West won, they had to give away a badge. So this week they got a chance to give a badge to a queen. So Nina chose to give her badge to Roxy, so that way her and Chanel don't look like an alliance. And then Got Mick chose to give it to her friend Vanjie. Not worried about the fact that if they look like an alliance.
Right.
So going into the episode, Roxy and Vanjie each had one. So now, after the win, they both have two, right up there with Got Mick in the front runner seat. After one episode, they got two because they earned one and then they were gifted one. So there was a lot of drama.
That was a whole other conversation that we could have had.
Is all through this, in my opinion.
So the winners was Vanjie and Roxy, and we believe that the reason they won is because I'm trying to be PC about how I say this.
It was rigor mortis.
The older generation, I don't think, gets the references of
the
Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, Michelle and Rue, they don't know who the Powerpuff Girls are. And if they do, kudos to them.
I feel like they just might, but they're preferential to that old school, old style glamour girl group type thing, like Diana Ross, and all of that whole era. Like, they're kind of preferential to that. So even
Michelle's
though
a girl group too, so
yeah. So I think, although Plastic Tiara and Georges did an amazing job, I think they just happen to be more preferential to Roxy and Vanjie. And as much as I don't like that decision, I always give kudos to the girls who play a smart game, because you're not going to tell me that Roxy didn't know that. Roxy knew that. Yeah. Vanjie knew that. Roxy knew what to do. So winning team. So although I wish that Plastique and Georges had won that competition,
Yeah.
I'm okay with Roxy and Plastique. Now, to what you were saying about giving away I'm not giving away the badge. Who to snip? I definitely understand the math, and Roxy is
and so
is
they couldn't
methodical.
snip. Like Roxy
But they
couldn't
could
snip
have.
Nina, and
They could. So here's the thing.
Gottmik couldn't, or
They could
Vinci
have.
couldn't have snipped Gottmik because those two gave them badges. So it's not like, so it's like, oh, you gave me a badge and I'm gonna give you the snippers. That's kind of wrong and foul. You know what I mean? I get it that it's the game, but honestly, that is wrong and foul. That is wrong and foul on a game level as well as a personal level. I do.
A personal level, yes, definitely a personal level. But these are all stars, and they understand that this is a game that we're playing. We have to play this game.
Yeah.
The name of the game is to get as much money as possible for my charity. So it's a competition. You got to be smart about how you play the game. Now, in my opinion, yes, Nina and Gottmik was, well, not Nina, because I think that was dumb. But Gottmik was smart about her choice in giving the badge. Well, even Nina in that sense, because she feels like, well, I would feel like, okay, well, if it came down to it, Roxy would protect me because I gave her a badge.
Right.
But Roxy is dirty. Roxy is so dirty. Because whatever vengeance she had against Angeria could have been settled when Gottmik.
Right, but that was Gottmik's strategy, and
but it gave her what she needed.
It gave her a semblance, but it wasn't her.
But because Gottmik and Nina weren't the only two people that could have been eliminated, or Angeria, who could have been snipped. You had a whole other set of girls that you guys could have snipped.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
and
Georges
just had it, so they probably didn't want to snip Georges 2 weeks in a row.
So you could snip Plastique, you could snip Chanel,
but I don't. But Roxy wasn't going to snip Plastique because that's her good Judy.
All right, so I guess I need to look at it as what's the reason not to snip Angeria?
There really isn't.
The only reason to not snip her is to not snub her and make her feel some type of way. But again, if we're playing the game, then it comes with the territory. Yeah.
And like I said, plus, Roxy wanted to be able to give her the ruby snippers herself because it's like, you gave me the ruby snipper, so now I'm going to give you the ruby snipper.
Oh, I feel like this is a foul game. Something's going on behind the scenes. If it really does feel personal.
So
and I don't think that Angeria meant that first snip to be personal. It was very strategic, but I think Roxy
it was the smart snip.
It really was.
Yes, because you got somebody who walking into the competition has never been sent home in Drag Race history, will not get sent home because the season is right. No sent home.
So this person is going to be on your neck the entire season, and now she actually is.
Yeah, not to mention she's won every lip sync that she's ever competed in, except for the final lip syncs.
Right.
Outside of the finale, she's won every single lip sync. She is undefeated.
Well, we move on to this last episode, which is episode 5, and this episode, well, one, I always like to tune in that Wednesday/Thursday where they drop the preview for the next episode.
Yes.
Usually
on YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube.
On the RuPaul.
Usually they'll show you the girls re-entering the workroom right after what would have been an elimination or the lip sync win in this case. And they all talk about congratulations for winning. Girl. This is like the unofficial Untucked. And then they go through the RuPaul's Drag Race intro, and then we have a couple of minutes of what the next challenge, whether it be a mini or the maxi challenge. We'll get an introduction to what that's going to be. And for whatever reason, with this episode,
usually comes out on Thursdays.
Yeah, I say Wednesdays because I'm usually up late and I catch it at 12, so the days kind of blend. But one way or another, this episode we didn't get an introduction to the challenge. We just got the drama of Angeria being snipped again, and this time directly by Roxy Andrews. And Roxy said, but this wasn't just my decision. I think Vanjie played it smart to snip anybody. The smartest person to snip would have been got Mick, because she has two benefactress
Beautiful
yeah,
benefactress
that.
badge. Beautiful benefactress badge.
So Gottmik is the person to snip.
Yes.
And she could have kept her hands clean and said, look, Roxy was being strategic and, she took the lead on this one. She could have done that. But that's her good girlfriend. She might be giving the game to Gottmik.
Right.
She could be giving the game to Gottmik.
Her
just like
thing is
Nina
that-
could have been giving the game to Roxy, because I think that was what Roxy needed to stomp on everybody else's necks.
Right. So So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. But honestly, the decision with the least amount of blood, least amount of bad blood that could be on your hands is cut Angie.
I don't know.
Honestly. Yeah, no, because
it's a sore spot that just
Vanjie,
keeps getting.
That's what I'm saying. The least amount of bad blood is going to be, you know what I mean? Because Angie is always going to see that as Roxy cutting it. She's not going to see it
right as Vanjie doing it.
Vanjie doing it too,
which was interesting because in this episode, RuPaul said to the girls when she introduced the challenge that Angeria, since you've been blocked twice, you can put together the teams.
Yeah, so she paired the teams for the next challenge,
which is an improv challenge.
Yes.
It was a real estate
property. Yeah, property.
That was like drag rate.
Yes.
Drag queen realtor something.
Yes, property queens is what it was called. And then you had they had different locales. One was like a witchy manor in Salem, Massachusetts. There was a Tumbleweed, Texas, and a Gator Glades, Florida. And then you had what was it? The Frosty Bits, Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was it. Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Angeria pairs them up.
Yeah,
and Angeria chooses Vanjie to be her team partner.
Yep.
She puts Plastique with Roxy Andrews. She puts Chanel with Nina West. And she puts Gottmik with Georges. And I think that this was a very interesting pairing because I think most of the girls felt, oh, this actually works out.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting because Angeria has the opportunity now to possibly try to sabotage somebody's
game, yes, and put them in a position to be snipped instead of, being in a position to snip her.
And I don't think that she chose wisely. Well, I mean, she did for entertainment's sake. It just didn't help her much.
Yes. It was definitely, she definitely tried to do the diplomatic approach, and kudos to you, Mama, for being so, so gracious with your all-star teammates. I agree with who was it on Mistress Isabel Brooks, because Mistress Isabel Brooks was on Pit Stop for this episode, and she was like, yeah, no, I would have paired Plastique and Georges because, like, I know that they are going to be the worst team because Plastique isn't funny and Georges is spaced out all the time, But, like, yeah, so I was like, that would have been a very bad pairing, like, for this particular challenge. So she did the gracious thing by pairing them with who they did. So each team, there was a little fight over Gator Glades, Florida, because Plastique and Roxy wanted that, along with Angeria and Vanjie. And Angeria and Vanjie ended up getting Gator Glades, Florida. Plastique and Roxy ended up going with Tumbleweed, Texas.
So I'm just thinking about it because Roxy and Plastique did Tumbleweed, Texas. And the way they chose to do so was the blacked out teeth and the overalls and a straw hat and given that, a Tina Turner wig, because that was so Tina Turner.
That was
Roxy had a Tina Turner wig on.
Yeah.
But I feel like I would have done Tumbleweed, Texas differently.
There are two ways you could have done it. You could have done it like these city slicker Dallas Texans, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
that's
the slime ball Texan that everybody pictures that are clean and, and has a sweet accent, but shows you a pile of dirt and calls it, a gold mine and give me money because you
Yes,
could have did it
like
that.
a quick talking.
Yeah.
He could even been the pastor.
Yeah,
And like a lot of their jokes and puns could have been a spoof. Sorry if this is a little too touchy, but on like their bigotry and their just ways of thinking. Like I
Right.
think like you could have spoofed that, and that would have really been funny too. Not to say that what they gave us wasn't funny.
yeah, no.
But
they went like hillbilly Texan, where and then so yeah, that was Tumbleweed, Texas. Then they have Frosty Bits, which went to Georges and
I was going to try to hold off because I wanted to save the best for last, but you picked the right team. So Gottmik and Georges, because they were not the best.
No.
Now here's my thing: we just witnessed this with freaking Dawn and Maya Iman LePage, where Dawn did all the work and Maya sabotaged all the work that Dawn did. I feel like in this challenge, Gottmik really did the heavy lifting in this challenge, and Georges. Now, one thing I will say is Georges didn't just give up like Maya Iman LePage did,
right?
But I don't think she contributed enough to keep that boat floating. What is up with my talking tonight?
Yeah, I don't know.
I said Rihanna Dawson. Anyway, so I think the concept was actually cute and could have been really great. I just feel that it was an improv challenge, so Georges wasn't catching all of the things that was being thrown out or jumping in every opportunity that she had to keep the story interesting.
Right. Exactly. And it felt kind of awkward. The jokes were kind of flat. There were some good jokes, but not really, and it was very flat. It was very frosty, for Frosty Bits.
It's a little nippy.
Yeah. Then you had
please say Nina. Please
Salem, Massachusetts group with Nina West and Chanel. That was absolutely spectacular.
When I tell you that performance from those girls there, it was so entertaining. It was very funny. We knew that when it came down to improv and comedy, that Nina West is going to be your girl. Now, don't get it twisted. Chanel did good too, but that was definitely Nina's show. But no, Chanel did good too, though. And there was even the little Easter egg reference to Liberace in their performance.
Yes.
So it was really cute how they put that together. It was very thoughtful. They both looked great. Again, they went there with their performance of this Property Queens. Like theirs was definitely a favorite of mine.
Yes. It was absolutely, I can't say anything more. It was just spectacular. Yes. So kudos to y'all mamas for doing it.
Yes.
And then we did have the Angie and Vanjie with Gator Glades, Florida. Now I gotta say, this was hilarious, and I don't care what people say. Like, I think one of the other YouTube reviewers mentioned that Vanjie goes into this same real guttural voice every time that she goes to do an accent, whether it's British or anything. She always does the same, everything. And I'm like, she had a little country twang on it this time. It wasn't, it wasn't anything, but she still want to talk like this because
it's so crazy to me.
Character voice.
The thing about Vanjie to me is because she is really growing on me in a way that I didn't think that she would.
Love Vanjie. Yeah, she's so great.
I am really because when she steps on a runway, she's always flawless.
Yeah.
And she only improves. Her voice though.
I love it. I don't care.
So you can't love Vanjie and not love the voice, because that is what Vanjie.
Keep it in the bottom.
It was funny. It was definitely Vanjie, and it was definitely seen before.
It's
and
like
we
everybody
complain
got
about
on
that.
Saphira for her character shoes. Now, if y'all go give Saphira issues with her character shoes, then let's talk about Vanjie and her character voice, because I love it.
Her character.
Because it doesn't matter if it's the accent. That's the voice she's giving. Like,
I think the most like option she gives us when it comes down to like her character is when she's like doing like those verses when she's got to write and sing and all that stuff, because she gives us the highs and the lows with those. So at least with that, like it's not always like anyway. Vanjie, we love you.
Yes, we do.
Her performance with Angeria was fun. They created this kinship, the Angie and Vanjie thing. I'm buying tickets to that show.
Yeah,
I am buying tickets to that show. Their performance was good. Their little swamp home. They were funny. And we get to the judging, the deliberations.
Yes,
and
the runway, and this week's runway was reveal. Something by day, and then day by night reveal, I guess is what it is.
Yeah.
So people had to. There was a reveal from a day look to a night look. I mean, this runway, the people did what the people are going to do. I mean,
I want to say about
Nina West told a story
again.
Yeah,
she had two reveals. So I did not like her first one. She came out like a nun, but everything was big, like we like drag to be. But I did not like the way it was put together. It just didn't.
It looked very clunky and just
clunky. It was a shape. I couldn't tell you what shape it was, but it was a shape. And when she came out of it, I was happy that she did. But
and then that showgirl thing was a little bit.
I think that was her best look out of the three, if you ask me.
It was, yes. It was very, And then, but those shoes were terrible, like throughout the whole ordeal. Her shoes were terrible. And then, then she had the final reveal from the little, showgirl dress to this like long evening gown type.
And it gave me part 2 of that lip sync. Honestly. That's what it felt like. And it was like, okay, we've done this. And I know that the category calls for a reveal, but between the clunkiness and the familiar looks, it was part 2.
It's like Megami, you done had that crown of the sign queen snatched.
Yeah.
Like, because
by somebody who knows better.
Yeah, Nina is now the new sign queen. Like, she's always going to have a sign within her drag that you're going to have to read. So have your glasses ready. Then we had, after Nina West, we had Chanel. Chanel came out with her, red and black, business, little power skirt suit type of thing.
Beautiful. And it flared out into this like black and white.
Black and white and red accent, like Cruella de Vil type of evening gown.
It was
look
gorgeous.
Going on. Yeah, had this red hair going. It was very nice. She looked awesome. Great reveal. Solid Chanel runway. Then after Chanel, you had, I believe it was Roxy, right? It was Roxy after Chanel.
I think so.
Yeah. Roxy had this, this like day dress, and then
it was like this white jacket. It was all white, and
no Roxy.
Yeah, Roxy. Hers was like a day.
Hers was like a pale blue. It was like a pale blue.
I thought it was white.
It flipped, and then it was like a night, stars, and everything. Yeah, no.
Okay, maybe my color scheme's a little off a little bit.
It was like a pale blue, and then because the inside lining, it was inside out type of joint. Right. Yeah,
but like
it was beautiful.
It was one of the favorites, even though beautiful. I really did love Chanel's, but Roxy's was like wow.
It was beautiful.
George's, so I felt like George's kind of pulled a morphine reveal with like bath towel, except it was a little dress that she kind of like.
But that's how you do it.
Yeah, morphine. George's did that right.
Yeah,
it's just the reveal was actually kind of cute. Now I think about it, because she had like this gold shimmery with the little fringes, like Vegas type dress. Another note is that I love George's hair.
Yeah,
she gave me drag hair. She was listening to the show from the future and went in her closet and pulled out a big hair.
I bet she watches the show.
I know she watches.
I hope Georges watches the show.
I know Georges watches this show.
Georges,
she watches. I know Georges watches.
You were talking about you want to get gaped. Come to Philly.
Yeah. So
there ain't a word to describe.
As much as I liked as much as I liked George's look and her
Uh-huh.
reveal, it was still very muted to me.
Uh-huh.
It just because like when you got Chanel,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then you know Roxy comes out,
Yeah.
and you give me this, it's like how?
Yeah, like I liked the twirl reveal, but it just
wasn't
it wasn't
enough.
as well. It was just whelming. It wasn't overwhelming. It was just whelming. You know. Yeah. So Georges, we did Nina,
Nigeria?
Chanel, Roxy, Georges, yeah, Angeria. Angeria came out and she had like this little African type of print pattern thing going on there, and she had a little, but it was very, very a lot. I agree with the assessment that both Trixie and Mistress had on Pit Stop, was that the three different prints, and like they echoed what Carson said. It was the three different prints that just was like clashing everywhere,
And I also feel like her reveal was also underwhelming because it was just like
It was just
because
the
it was
bottom.
three different pieces. It was just the bottom. Everything else was exactly the same.
Yeah, the
So
top
it wasn't.
and everything was.
It
just
wasn't
the same. It was
dynamic enough.
I go from a skirt to a dress. Ooh ha!
Real quick.
Yeah.
So the way that people have been snipping people has been, it feels, despite what they says, it feels like we're playing tit for tat. You got me, so I got to get you. The way they're explaining it is, who's the biggest competition, because that's the person I need to snip. But what if another strategy could literally just be, who did the worst, because there's no eliminations. So who did the worst this episode? Let the girl pick that versus. But I understand it's a competition.
Whoever I feel did the worst gets snipped. You don't get a chance to get a badge next week if I feel like you did poorly. Like, yeah, but then how you gonna say that to another one of your
because
people?
It's your choice.
It's
your choice. It's your view. Like,
I get it.
We have our views.
Because they're gonna ask you why, and then you gotta explain to them. I thought
and that's
you did
fine.
the worst.
So I feel like you were the weakest of the competition. I felt like you could have done more. Georges, I'm sorry, I'm snipping you this week. Yeah. And I'm not saying Georges was the worst of the week. I'm just giving her as an example.
Yeah. I definitely feel like Georges would have been a good option to snip to this week. But so then we had Got Mick coming out on the runway. Got Mick's reveal.
Now, we've seen reveals, but this was a different take on reveals that I don't think anybody was expecting, because the entire time Got Mick walks out on the runway in a suit, a gray suit,
gray power suit,
slick back hair, very thin eyebrows, very butch, like face beautiful, but body language was very butch. And then once it will turn around in the back of the
signature
outfit,
white mug that Got Mick is known for.
It turns around and the back of the suit is cut out, and you see
this pink, bright pink lingerie
type. Sexy, the garter, the strings and straps, and it was just beautiful. And it was like, ooh,
it's like, oh, okay, that's what's going on under there.
That's a different take on a reveal. Got Mick, that was genius. Such a way to think outside the box.
Absolutely. 100% again on the runway, knocking it out of the park when it has to do with her. So
and it's always great representation of her / him / a community of people. It's like gender reveal. That's a dope idea. Could you imagine? Like, oh my gosh, I just had an idea. Okay.
So and then let's see, who else did we got? Vanjie. Wow, Vanjie. Oh my goodness, Vanjie had the whole Pretty Woman theme going on with her reveal. She came out in the white overcoat. With the gold buttons.
We forgot Plastique.
We'll
have to come back to her.
So Vanjie came out with the Pretty Woman thing with the gold buttons, the white overcoat, the hat, the bags and stuff like that from Pretty Woman. And then, she drops off the bags and then, opens up the white overcoat, and then it falls into the red dress, that she wore and everything. And oh my goodness.
So gorgeous.
Oh, with the red hair. Oh, it was just, like the most crispiest, perfectest, greasiest slice of pizza. Like, you know, that satisfying feeling that you get when you bite into a crispy, greasy, like really, really good sauce, a good cheese, a nice crispy pepperoni pizza, and it's like just you bite it and you get that nice cheese pull. Like, that is what Angie gave me. Like,
just dripping.
It was
and
just
hot.
nice just
one of those.
And I ate it up.
It was so hot it burned your mouth, but it was so good you ain't want to stop.
Yeah, like that is what it was, Vanjie. Kudos to you, mama.
And then there was Plastique.
Yes.
Who came out with this gown? What was like the purple?
Yeah, it was like a purple, like kimono type of gown, like, you know, Oriental, you know, robe type thing, and then peeled it off into this, you know,
futuristic metallic frame.
Yeah, she looked like a Power Ranger villain type.
She looked like Rita Repulsa from the latest movie. The way, you know how they made her younger and hot? Like that, her outfit gave me that. And she had like
I kind of got Scorpina from the original series, but you know.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
One way or another, Plastique ate.
Yeah, she had these like daggers and stuff, and it was sexy. It was sexy because Plastique is a sexy bitch. So
and one of the I think Plastique had a really good night this show because she killed it in the challenge, which we didn't talk about how funny she was in her challenge.
She is not a comedy. Hilarious.
She is not a comedy queen, but she was actually very funny.
Well, she's a slept-on comedy queen because GreatMines was funny. Like in her original season, and she was like, "Oh no, honey. Oh no, tell me the correct name," and stuff like that. Like she was hilarious as the, you know, like Asian lady and stuff like that, like inspired character that she did. Like, I thought it was hilarious. It's just that the second time around, she wasn't as funny, and that gave her the whole thing.
Not funny queen,
you know,
not a comedy queen.
So you know, it is what it is. But she definitely has the chops to be funny when she dives in.
Yeah, because her performance was very entertaining. So I enjoyed her, and then her runway. Again,
in spite of Roxy Andrews' Tina Turner wig, like, because that Tina Turner wig was the whole goddamn scene. Like, all I kept seeing was Tina Turner.
Literally, that's the problem with. I think that's the only problem I had with their performances. Like, I'm trying to figure out why the hell Tina Turner came back from the grave to do RuPaul's Drag Race show. But
with blacked out teeth and stuff like that. Like, like Tina was
came
from
back
Nut
from the
Bush,
grave,
not tumbleweed. All right, Nut Bush.
But it was such a great performance by Roxy and Plastique that they won a challenge. Now, it goes back to all of this alliance stuff and all of this snipping people. And if you did in strategy, if you did it right now, Angeria snipping Roxy was smart. Nina giving Roxy a badge, not so much.
So Plastique and Roxy won.
Yes,
we said that right.
Yes,
and so they lip syncing. So
well, wait, they won, so they both get badges.
Yeah, they both get badges.
They're lip syncing.
So now Roxy has 3 badges because she was gifted 1 and she won 2.
She won the second one that same episode she was gifted. Then she just won another episode. Well, she won another one with Plastique, and now they have to lip sync.
Yes,
Roxy was the one that made me nervous, and they gave her what she needed.
2.
Yes, so they lip sync, and
neither one of them knew the words to what's it called? Super Freak by
Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj. There you go. FFRE.
They knew parts of the chorus. Plastique was leaning on her sex appeal, and Roxy in my face just played. She said, "I don't know this, so we're just gonna have fun." She had, at one point, for like almost an entire verse, her back was turned to everything.
Right, just shaking the derriere, and that was it. So okay, good
Did
for
that
you, Roxy.
Twice, actually.
Yeah, and the thing with Plastique is that even though she didn't know the words, like, you know, she was still giving you, you know, beauty performance.
There was a moment where Plastique whipped her hair in front of her face and blocked her mouth, so you couldn't really see her lip syncing. But it was in a time where...
But there was a couple of times where she wasn't even lip syncing.
Yeah, no, she was just dancing.
Yeah. So that was one of the worst lip syncs in RuPaul's Drag Race history.
All Stars specifically.
Yes.
Who would you give that win to?
I would have gave in part because it's a lip sync and looking at the performance of the two, the person that lip synced the most would have gotten it, which would have been Roxy, because there were blatantly times like that, you know what I mean? But whenever Roxy was facing, like, the mouth was moving to some sort of beat, even though it might not have looked like the words, the mouth was moving to the beat. So, you know, with Plastique, it was like on beat sometimes and then not lip syncing at all. So there's a difference, you know, in my opinion. Like, you can't desecrate the lip sync, and you got to lip sync. You know, you got to do something.
Right.
You know,
I don't know. I just feel. So here's the thing with Roxy. She just did an amazing lip sync with Vanjie, and it was a double win.
Mm-hmm.
Roxy is a professional. She's a drag queen. She is not going to get on that stage and not be together.
Mm-hmm.
She's a professional.
Mm-hmm. And not saying that Plastique is a professional, but Roxy came up through the bar scene. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, Plastique didn't, you know, she came up through Instagram and
TikTok.
Social media queen. You know what I mean? Well, Instagram and then TikTok. Yeah. Right. But like she's social media queen and very rarely performs outside of massive choreographed numbers, which she is amazing at, you know, but as far as, you know, lip syncing on the spot, like you would at a bar or something like that, like, Roxy's going to have the edge on that.
One thing that we know is that RuPaul's going to say you were asked to prepare a lip sync to whatever the song is. That's number one. So you've had time to learn the song. Secondly, this isn't a song that no one's never heard of. You guys live in the bar world. You guys heard this song enough to make that work. With Plastique, I think she just wasn't prepared. With Roxy was playing. She did that on purpose. And why? Well, I believe Roxy did that on purpose. It's because she knew that she would have to do a snipping. And she just knew the person. Like, I don't think she got it out of her system, if you ask me. I think she still got it out for Angeria.
Well, yeah, so let's get into the drama here, because Roxy won the lip sync. So when she won the lip sync, it was given the ruby snippers to give to somebody. She was pretty much standing with her hand blocking, or like this, sorry, because of the lighting. The hand blocking and trying to not seeing where all the other contestants are on this side, you know, because she was going to do some sort of randomized snipping. And so then she turns around and goes behind each queen and walks down the line and walks halfway up the line and walks back and then walks down and then settles and is like, snip, snip, bitch. And she is standing right behind Angeria Paris Von Michaels, who was just blocked.
And there's no rules that say that you can't be blocked episode after episode after episode.
Right.
So this would have been a completely legal move by Roxy Andrews.
Happened to Jinx Monsoon. She was blocked twice in a row.
So now Roxy supposedly, since her back is turned towards the cameras and towards the queens behind her, and the queens don't see who she's going to. They can just feel her presence as she moves. And she stands behind Angeria with her back turns, and she says, snip, snip, bitch, and turns around. Oh, no, not Angeria turns around first.
Yeah, Angie turned around and was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you serious? And then she turned around and her and Angie locked eyes. And she was like, oh, no, I can't do Angie. She was already cut. I can't do Angie. And then she backed out. Which is fun because I don't, like, you know, I didn't know that production would allow you to do that.
Right. I really thought, because I would hate for Angeria to have been snipped again, but I think for the drama aspect, like I'm in my Mistress Isabel Brooks era right now.
Right.
And I think that I would have loved the drama that would have ensued after that. Like, there's going to be drama regardless, but if she would have stuck to that decision, now it's personal.
Yeah.
It is definitely personal at that point. But why would
so
you
then
even
she goes and decides to give it to Gottmik.
And she cried about it. and made a whole moment. And I said, no, bitch, this is my moment. Got Mick get snipped, and she said he got to comfort Roxy. Bitch, you don't want to snip me? Go snip somebody else. If you feel that bad, snip somebody else. Not taking my moment to feel like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
So, Got Mick has finally been snipped.
Mm-hmm.
The only other queen right now that's worth snipping is Roxy. So I hope that whatever alliances or behind the scenes drama or little hangups that these cliquey girls got, get over it real quick and realize that they need to be snipping the hell out of Roxy Andrews if y'all want a fighting chance.
Yes, and if we're going,
and it may already be too late.
Right, if we're going by previous seasons, Roxy is already pretty much guaranteed a spot in the finals.
Right.
The main person that made it into the finals, like at the last minute, Shea Coulee, she got it with 3. Because the last challenge was worth 2. Remember that?
Right.
And everything, and she got it. So yeah. So it could very well happen, or we could see a different thing. But as far as we know right now, and based off of previous All-Star season, the All-Winner season, we can comfortably say that Roxy has, odds are, clinched a spot in the finals. And it is the top 3.
Well, she
right?
has, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But she also, let's just say this to be more fair, because anything can happen. She has a very strong lead.
Right.
Not just statistically, but the way she plays the game. She has a very strong lead right now.
Right. But based on precedent, you could comfortably say that she's in the finals.
Yeah. Something we didn't talk about last week's pit stop, Kim Chi was the guest.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was thinking about another method in snipping people, something that Kim Chi said was, I would have thought that they would have thought, okay, I want to get some money to my charity, so I'm going to do something along those lines. Like they would have done something to benefit their charity, or they would be strategic in that way versus just like, oh, I got it out for this person or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mixing it up a little bit, but y'all get what I'm trying to say with that. So next episode, Got Mick is snipped and blocked from getting a beautiful benefactress badge. I said it.
Yeah. Saying it. Damn it.
No, I was saying it because I keep messing it up. I actually got it right.
Beautiful benefactress page.
All right, so join us next week as we continue to cover RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star Season 9. They're getting old.
Mm-hmm. We're getting old. Ugh.
I'm getting better.
Yeah, all right, whatever. So make sure that y'all tune in. Make sure that y'all like, share, subscribe, comment. Let us know who your front runner is. Is it Roxy Andrews right now? Because she's in the lead with 3 beautiful benefactress badges. Is it Got Mick?
Let's do a top 3 and a bottom 2.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that. My bad. Who's your bottom? My bottom 2 in no particular order to be completely. No, that's the order. At the very bottom is still Georges, and then right above her is Chanel. How do you feel about that? I
have Georgia. I have Chanel and Georges in my bottom 2. It could be interchangeable, to be honest.
Because
Nina West is barely outside of my bottom 2, to be honest. Like her and Georges are flip flopping like minute by minute.
I think Nina is giving a stronger race than both Chanel and Georges. The thing is, Chanel is a better performer, more polished queen,
right? But
Georges actually has a win,
right? Yes,
but Georges is still at the bottom for me. Mm-hmm. Now, top 3 right now would be Got Mick, Roxy, and Plastique. Yeah.
So my top 3 would have to be Got Mick, Vanjie, and Roxy, because by virtue.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Because Vanjie has 2 wins now. Mm-hmm. So does Plastique.
Yeah.
So does Got Mick.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to say.
I just think that Vanjie is getting into a more solid groove than Plastique is. I feel like Plastique is kind of trending down a little bit, but not really, going down. It's like because this episode was definitely a up for her.
Yeah.
But I feel like Vanjie's up is going at a steeper climb than Plastique's. Plastique's is like going up like this. Vanjie's going up like this.
Got you.
So it's like, but that's how that's my top 3 at the moment. It pains me to put Roxy in my top 3, but whatever.
And honestly, I'm gonna stick with my
Can't
with
read
my
the doll,
top.
apparently.
I'm stick with my top 3, and it pains me not to have Vanjie in it, but it is definitely Roxy, Gottmik, and Plastique.
Okay.
Particularly in that order as well.
Yeah.
So,
well, there you have it. Let us know your top 3, your bottom 2. Let us know if you agree or disagree. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Please be here next week. Same Kyng Kevyn time, same Kyng Kevyn channel. Your line?
huh?
Your line?
Sunday at 5 Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
We'll be live.
Uh-huh.
And we love you guys for joining us. Soney, is there anything you want to say to these wonderful people?